Trail names on long trails. Are they a real thing? Do people really use them? Answering questions about trail names today, guys. This was a specially requested video from my good friend TK, although I haven't seen him in a few years. He and I keep in touch and have been friends since we rode the bus together in elementary school, and then we were friends all through high school. Last time I saw him was at his wedding a few years ago, but like I said, we still keep in touch, and he requested this video, so I'm going to talk about it. If you guys have requests of different topics that you want me to talk about, I'm happy to do that, so just leave them in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you see your questions answered. So, are trail names a thing? Yes, they're totally a thing. They're really common on the Appalachian Trail, and I know that they're used on other long trails as well, although I have heard that on some trails they're a little less popular, and I'm not too sure about the international trails, like the trails outside of the United States. So if you've hiked a trail outside of the US, I would be very interested to know if you use trail names out there. But on the AT, they're super common. It's a really big part of trail culture. And pretty much everybody gets a trail name, and everybody goes by their trail name. So if you meet someone after you already have a trail name, unless you're friends with them on social media or something, you're probably not even gonna know their real name unless you ask, because nobody calls each other by their like legal names on the AT. It's all trail names. I mean, you don't have to have a trail name, but it's all part of the fun of it, I think. And for the most part, people are given trail names by other people. It's kind of frowned upon to come up with your own trail name, although some people do it. It is frowned upon. Usually a name is bestowed upon you for something funny that you've done, or something that really fits your personality or your interests, or part of your identity. So my name on the AT was Glow Stick, and the reason I got named Glow Stick was because I found a bright yellow glowing glow stick in my tent the first night on Springer Mountain, because I hadn't opened my tent since like 6 months before when I went to a music festival. And then I also got off the trail for a music festival and a wine festival. And I love to dance. I'm all about that life. So I got named Glow Stick. My friend Ibex named me. She actually named 3 people, I believe. And she was named because she, at the beginning of the trail, was really fast up hills, like faster than everybody else up hills. It kind of evened out as we went along and everyone else got more in shape, but she was living in a mountainous region of New York before she started the trail and doing a lot of hiking and stuff. So she just had, really strong legs at the beginning of the trail and got named for that. And now, so I knew her, she's a friend of mine from college. We started the trail together, and I knew her before the trail as Natalie. And even still, 3 years after we've done the AT, I still call her Ibex. She is Ibex to me now. All my trail friends are their trail names to me. And occasionally, if I'm out in society with them and have to introduce them or as their like legal name or call them their legal name for some reason, it always feels super weird to me. And I even think about like my friend Dory, who hiked with us for like a large part of the state of Maine. Like, I actually forget his real name. Whenever it comes up, I'm like, oh, that's your real name? It just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so I named my friend Girl Scout, and the reason I named her that is because she always was wearing like 2 braids in her hair. She's blonde, she's like super cute, and she was always prepared. Anything that you could ever need, she had it in her bag. And because she was always prepared, I named her Girl Scout. My friend Head Chef got named because he is a bodybuilder in normal life, like just as a hobby. He likes to build muscle, he likes to lift weights, all that, and he was really concerned on the trail that he was gonna lose all his muscle. And so he got like the lightest gear that he could get, like super UL stuff, and then he would pack out like full chickens to cook over a fire in the wilderness, or like steaks, or like breakfast hash, things like that. All different it was usually meats of some variety, but just like ridiculous things that he would pack out and cook. So he got named Head Chef. This other guy, Peppermint, that hiked with us, that I'm no longer friends with, got named because he was really terrified of getting mice in his stuff, because around a lot of the shelters and campsites, there will be mice problems because the mice know that hikers are there and that they have delicious snacks in their bags. So the mice will hang around, and he had heard about this ahead of time, and so he was really determined that he was not gonna get his stuff chewed up by a mouse. And so he brought peppermint oil to like put around his campsite or put on his stuff to keep the mice away, because supposedly they don't like peppermint. But like 3 days into the trail or something, he actually ended up with a mouse in his tent anyway, because he left his pack outside of his tent. He heard a mouse scurrying around, he panicked, he brought it inside of his tent, but he didn't know that there was already a mouse in there. So anyway, he got named Peppermint. I had 2 friends named Jukebox on the trail, and both of them were known for singing their hearts out on the trail while they were hiking. One was a girl, one was a guy. The girl was always making up her own songs. Like, she made up a song near the beginning of the trail about how wonderful her trekking poles were and how they saved her life. I think it was to the tune of God Bless America, like, God bless my trekking poles. And it's totally relatable, because I went into the trail being like, well, I need trekking poles, but I brought them because everyone had them on their packing list, and then quickly realized that trekking poles were going to save my life day after day after day. So very appropriate song in my opinion, but she was always making up little songs like that, super cute. So she got named Jukebox, and then my guy friend Jukebox was like one of those street performers who would sing 90s songs back in his like real life in Fort Collins. And then on the trail, of course, he was still like a big fan of singing. So he would be constantly like singing at the top of his lungs. I would hear him like way back in the distance, just singing his heart out to 90 songs. So he also got named Jukebox. So anyway, those are a few examples of trail names and why people were named the way that they were. Like, all my trail friends would call me Glow Stick. It was super weird when I finished the trail, and like, people had been calling me Glow Stick for months. Like, no one ever called me Audrey. And so when I finally got off the trail and everyone was calling me Audrey again, it was really strange. It felt off, which is funny how quickly things shift, because, you know, obviously my name's been Audrey for my entire life, except for in this culture. And very quickly I got used to being called Glow Stick. So kind of interesting. Anyway, if you have a trail name, I would love to hear what it is. If you're hoping to get a trail name on a future trail, I would love to hear about it. And again, if you have any questions that you want me to talk about in videos about the Appalachian Trail or hiking in Colorado or backpacking in general, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. Talk to you guys later.